Okay, so part two. My camera memory got full. Anywho, I dig finding these things. The OG Boba Fett is dope. There's little symbols on his hands there. I was trying to see what that is. Anyway. I don't know what's going to go down or whatever in the future. What I do know is this. A lot of the shit that I was worried about happening looks like it is happening. And, like, it's hard to tell if that's just, like, because things haven't started to go our way yet. Like, a lot of shit hangs on this next election. This next election is voting for whether or not we're going to go to war or not, basically. Anyway, as such, this van is my project as such, as because it's like, it cost me nothing. I can drive it where I need to go, and it costs very little to do the things to it that I'm wanting to do to it. You know, it doesn't need to, be this literally, but like, I want similar capabilities, right? Really, the gunner seat here is pretty dope. Like, this is staying basically for my nephew Layton. I was just going to put a big bed in the back, but as it turns out, I'm going to need someplace for a kid to ride. And this chair is pretty good. And, like, this is the spot in the van to hang out. So, many things going for this chair. That's why it's staying. The bed, I have a line on a twin mattress, so that'll save me some money. It turns out nobody wants those. I'm going to try to get a California twin because I think it'll fit in here, actually. That's the thing about the minivan, is it's surprisingly big inside. Like, it depends on what you're wanting to do or whatever. Like, I don't know if the California will fit all the way in there or not with the door. And, it would be close. I don't know how close. So, all the fucking water there is... I went to Costco and bought a bunch of water because we needed water, but I already have water in the house. So, there it sits. My goal is to have it be inside my house before it fucking, like, freezes. I'm not perfect. That's half of this channel, I think, is I'm not perfect. One of the things that I'm trying to wrestle with right now is, okay, so I want to be a nomad. I have my horse, and it looks like I found a company to buy a tent from. I don't know which model I'm going to buy yet. I might very well buy a model that closes, or I might just buy that big canopy thing. But in either way, this is a canopy that works well in the wind. I kind of want, like, in the Middle East, if you go and hang out with the Bedouin, there are tents where people sleep, right? But there are also just big tents where they hang out. That's what I want. I want a big tent where you go to hang out. So, like, when the weather is not as nice, hanging out in the tent is better than hanging out in the car, likely. Maybe not 100%, but likely. Also, the canopy is green, so that works. I think that's likely what I'm going to do. This, honestly, most of the time that I want to be outside and shit is in nice weather. When it's not nice weather out, I'm probably going to go find someplace to be. Okay, either that or I'm going to be somewhere where, like, there's parts of Arizona where, assuming you aren't there in the middle of the summer, it's relatively nice. This is kind of my plan. I'm going to go there, find someplace to be, free camp, move every few weeks, and just chill. And, like, I think that's a better plan. The more this goes on, one of the things you should get is, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm trying to make that decision, and I'm letting you guys into my decision-making process, because I think it would help you to see, I don't know, me argue with myself, basically. And I'm kind of doing it well baked, and I'm sort of entertaining. And who else is going to show you a Boba Fett spaceship and 6 cases of water from Costco and a fucking black powder revolver? That's in case someone tries to rob us while we're out here making videos. It has no active nipples in it, but it doesn't matter. I have it because I beat someone to death with it. It is a steel and wood club. Like, honestly, that's one of my favorite purchases of all time. That cap and ball revolver is fucking awesome. First off, I put my vape pen in my pocket so I can talk. The branding and the leather, it's just random shit I like to piss people off. This is, that made me laugh. This is kind of like a lesbian thing. Like, I like the triangle thing. It looks like a pyramid. And it'll freak Honda out, make him think I'm in the Illuminati. Those are titties. Because titties. That's the Wheel of Pain. If you don't know what the Wheel of Pain is by now, God help you. Then my initials. Anywho, I like it. My goal at some point in this thing with that tent is I'm going to go out to Arizona with the only gun I'm bringing, probably going to be that and maybe a Hawken rifle. And like, I'm going to go black powder shooting in the hills of Arizona for like a couple weeks. Sounds so fun. Like, honestly, the idea of having like a little command center thing with the internet in it so I can still like do videos. That's really what I'm like struggling with trying to figure out, is if I still do this show, how am I gonna get you guys videos? I'm sorry if you don't like me making an ass of myself with Matt. That's just jolly good fun. Anyone who's watched this long into this is probably my friend. He pissed me off. They all pissed me off. They shouldn't have done that. Okay? Like, I'm not like bitter about it or anything, but like at the same time, you don't get to just walk away. And I think it's fucking hilarious to troll them on the internet. Sorry if that makes me worse in your eyes. Like, I am what I am. I used to be a better person when Dakota was here. To be honest, a whole bunch of shit happened with that, man. That's one of those, like, she didn't know what she wanted, and that makes life difficult for her. And I didn't know what I wanted other than to be with her. That makes life difficult for me. And basically, I've found a new purpose in this, sharing this. I don't really know what to do with my life without her in it. It's really kind of shitty. I fucking hate cops. You gotta see him go through in the trees there. He went by just now. That little flash of light you guys saw, that was the cop. Well, anyway. Got more. But this is kind of in a nutshell one of the reasons why I'm like done with big cities. Not entirely, but like if I can figure out some place to go live where it's not hot and it's not cold, and I can just live in the van, I think I'm gonna go do that. My goal is to figure out some sort of way to self-fund with this via art. I'm kind of working on that, and like I'm hoping to turn the YouTube channel / whoever of you that still like me into people that might buy random cool stuff I make. Like, I'm planning on making like little custom knives and calculators and shit. Like, I'm not really like going nuts. I don't even have a plan really on how I'm gonna sell that shit yet. I really ought to turn those lights off. Oh well. I like sitting on the driveway. It's one of those things that, like, I don't know if it makes me a redneck or something, but like this driveway has a slope to it, and it's a nice slope. It's, you know, it makes a good place to sit. I've been thinking about lighting up the forge again and making something, even if it's just for me. I'd really love to get the card to the point to where it has a bunch of tools and shit built onto it for knife making. That'd be dope. A lot of people have said have a trailer. I don't know. That canopy tent thing is definitely interesting, because with that and a folding table and a few tools, like, you could definitely have a little knife shop out in the woods. By woods, I mean desert, I guess. I guess this is why I should be buying desert gear. I have a small collection of desert gear going, and I wasn't sure exactly why. I think I'm going to get like a set of Desert Storm web gear that makes me happy, basically. It's not exactly what they would have had in Desert Storm, but it's kind of like based on that flavor with some cool shit that I found and made for me. It's going to be my desert gear. I already have cold gear kind of made. And the nice thing about having Alice gear as desert gear is it's a belt and suspenders instead of some big ass fucking thing all across you. Like, in temperate environments, chest rigs and plate carriers and shit make a lot of sense. In deserts, they really don't make a lot of sense, especially if you're not, you know, having to use them. Ugh. Plus, I think it would be dope to have a set of equipment that looks like, what was that George Clooney movie where they were in Desert Storm, like Three Kings or whatever? Also reminds me a bit of like Black Hawk Down. Get some Black Hawk Down vibes. I should make it, you know, a desert kit, and then make Loki a desert rifle, because I could pretty easily do that. Just get some tan and brown and repaint it. Although I kind of like Loki's paint job the way it is, because he's like a my AR-15 Loki is a KE arms lower with a PSA upper on it, and it's kind of built like a blood diamond rifle, but a mid-length with a fixed stock. And it has a scope on it, and like, I changed a bunch of shit, but it's like this weird looking carbine that has some 90s flavor to it that I like. it would be dope to have that set up as the desert gun, especially with its scope. It's the only rifle I have with a scope. I've been thinking about getting a magnifier for my other rifle, but like, basically the one I would buy is $300, and if I had $300 right now, I wouldn't spend it on a magnifier. But yet I would. There's several other things like that that are like, there's stuff on my list that is like $200 or $300 that I need to buy, really. But like that magnifier is questionable at best, I would say. I'm basically putting it last on the list after night vision and everything else. It would be nice. There's a whole bunch of shit from the last 10 years that I should have just like squirreled away and hung on to. But honestly, like, I didn't think the world was going to end 10 years ago. I didn't really think the world was going to end seriously until about when COVID happened. 10 years ago, I kind of looked at the board and went, we are headed for some sort of a world war. That's obvious. But at the same time, there's not many signs of it anywhere here. And, eventually you can't... I'll admit, the thing that has set me back in life is that I wanted focus, bitch. The thing that's held me back in life in regard to this is another one. The thing that's held me back in life in regards to this is the fact that I wanted an indoor toilet. And I didn't lose that compunction until my girlfriend left, really. When I was hanging out with her, I was starting to lose that compunction. And I was telling her, like, hey, if I can build us a toilet system and teach you to use it, would you come with me? Like, that was her main holdup too, was she wanted internet and she wanted a toilet. And we had heard about Starlink. Starlink fixes everything, basically. Doesn't really fix everything, but like it's better than a lot of shit. To be honest, my real solution at this point is hopefully to be in an area with cell service. Maybe get one of those cell phone things for Wi-Fi, or just watch shit on my phone and have DVDs. I have a feeling I'm probably going to be doing a lot of the watching shit on my phone and having DVDs. That's part of this, like, going back to a simpler way of life. Like, in some ways, what I'm doing, cutting myself off from the grid, when I pick things, I'm not picking the absolute pinnacle of technology. The pinnacle of technology right now is not good. I think the technology peaked 10 years ago, maybe even longer. For movies, I think the DVD format is optimal for my purposes. If you want high definition on a disc format and whatever, and to watch in a home, that's Blu-ray, got it. But I need a cheap disc that I can buy and rebuy and whatever, that, will have an acceptable quality copy of the movie on it to watch on an LCD screen in the back of a van. That's DVD. This, in a nutshell, is why DVD is still here, because, Blu-ray players play them, and they've got it now to where they can make DVDs for next to nothing. And this is why DVDs are worthless. So don't invest a bunch of money in DVDs. Buy cheap ones. I've been looking at DVDs without the case on eBay. I go to Vintage Stock and buy $4 ones and shit. Like, when I do that, I get new ones because I like new discs. My goal is to be able to watch movies in the desert at this point. It's a pretty low goal. But if you take away all of this society and shit, the way I see things, we're basically kind of right where we were in 1860 or 1870 here. Which is good. I like that. It just means you have to adapt. And part of this is the battery powered shit. Like, my plan for that basically is I have 2 portable DVD players, a laptop, and a DVD player in the van. And I want to have multiple ways to power all of those. And that to me is why investing in a whole bunch of DVDs makes sense versus like Starlink. Because like really, what am I going to do with Starlink? I'm going to watch movies and shit on Hulu and YouTube. So YouTube I can pretty much watch on my phone usually. I do half the time anyway. Hulu, I don't have an answer for that really. I like to have Ancient Aliens or MASH or a couple other different shows on Hulu and just let them play while I'm doing other shit or while I'm like going to bed. It's nice. I'll miss that. But I mostly have that to cover up all of the noises that we're hearing. So, I don't know. I would like to wander for a bit, to be honest. That's half of why, like, trying to find some place to bury my food and weapons is probably going to be on my list of things to do. And then getting that tent is going to be on my list of things to do now that I know it exists. It's 10 by 14. It's like 7 feet tall. It all folds up. Like, that's a pretty huge hangout space. And maybe that's more than what I need or whatever. But having a 10 by 14 room out of the rain and bugs, if it has the screens on it, for $600, like, and it's made to be like a windproof tent. The people that make those things are in Utah, and they're made to be out in the desert in the wind. I want one. Springer tents. I'm torn about what else I'll need out there, really. Like, I bought a Zooter, which is like a scooter for big people. And I'm gonna ride that some. That's mainly because I always liked the Razor scooters, and I always wanted one of these, but couldn't afford one. And when I had the car money, I just bought one. It's a $400 fucking scooter. Some of those, like, what'd you do with your money? Whatever the fuck I wanted. Also, I kind of think of that as like, in shit hits the fan, if there's no gasoline, I need a way to get to and from. I don't like bicycles, so that makes sense. I like watching movies, so the DVD collection makes sense, right? The kitchen is, you have to have that. Bathroom stuff. For being on the road, I bought a folding toilet. I think it was all of $40 or $50 on Amazon. You know, it's nothing glamorous if you don't know how to use one. You know, I feel fortunate for you, I guess. It's a toilet seat that folds up. Yeah. I kind of figure wherever I'm going to be camping, I want to be out far enough away from people that, like, I wouldn't even need to wear clothes if I didn't want to. But, and that makes, you know, the bathroom. I'm not concerned about having a privacy tent for the bathroom. My goal in doing this somewhat is to be able to have, like, on Rick and Morty, Rick has a bathroom that he goes to in another dimension to shit, right? It's like a toilet seat out in the middle of emptiness and nothing. That's what my toilet is going to be. Now, that is going to suck on occasion when it rains and shit, but like, you know, when that happens, we might move it inside the tent for the night or something and shit into a bucket. A bucket toilet might be a good thing to have. Like, this is the thing where having that tent makes it where you're not just living in the van. You have like a living room space. At least someplace where you can kind of spread out. Have a folding table I can set up and folding chairs I can set up. That's kind of what I'm planning on doing with that. I like being outside too. That's half the thing. It's like, assuming that I don't know. There's things about Arizona that make me say hell yes. And there's things about Arizona that make me say hell no. There's lots of animal reasons that say hell no, and there's lots of like heat reasons that say hell no. But the rest of the year, not during the summer, they have relatively nice weather. There's very little snow in like southern Arizona. And like, if you pick your location right, you can drive 20 minutes and be in a different climatic zone because of the mountains. So all that stuff being considered, Arizona, New Mexico has, you know, it's nice. It would be nice, right? It's not necessary, but it would be nice. Oklahoma, there's a couple places where I want to go and kind of test and road trip and whatever. And I would like to buy a patch of land here. And the reason I'd like to buy a patch of land here is because I like the people here. My family is here. Like, if anything, I fit in here. I don't really fit in anywhere. But I kind of figure if I buy 5 or 10 acres of land in the state, it's probably going to be Oklahoma. Blazer thinks it should be Missouri. I can't convince him that, like, Oklahoma is the shit because of the fucking laws. We're still free America here, for the most part. Well, this has been part 2 of this sort of van life night patrol kind of thing. I wasn't really feeling up to it there for a couple of days. I don't know what that was about. Fucking antibiotics, I'm sure. I'll see you guys later.